so glad you're here, and I hope you're loving the episode so far. So today, I'm talking to three beautiful young ladies. They're in different stages of this teenage life. And before we get started with today's episode, I just had to set the vibe with my That Good Piece candle. Today, we're lighting. We blow candles, not cakes, because COVID is real. I'm not blowing on cakes no more. So let's light that. Just to set the mood and get some good smell goods going on. So ladies, I'm so glad that you're here to talk to me and our Letters audience. So can you just introduce yourself? You can say your name, your age, and just tell a little bit about yourself and what you like to do.
Hi, my name is Alessandra Mason, but I affectionately go by Allie. I'm 18 years old. I recently graduated from Edmondson Westside High School. And some of the things I enjoy doing, I play lacrosse. I'm really creative and I do a lot of arts things, and I really enjoy music.
Nice to meet you, Allie.
Thank you.
I'm London Bailey. I'm 13 and I go to Pikesville Middle School, and I like the performing arts, so I sing, I dance at Maryland Academy, and I act a little bit.
She's a triple threat, guys.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Abigail. I'm 15 and I go to Newtown High School. I like shopping, I like inspiring others, and I like doing research on self-care.
Yes, self-care. Come through. It's a whole match up here. I like it. So, I don't know if you guys watched last season. I interviewed 5 teenage boys, and I asked, if you can ask any question to a teenage girl, what would it be? And it's pretty funny, but we're going to start with that because these are the questions that they had. And this is no opinion of Letters TV or Amber Sharice. So they wanted to know, why are girls so problematic? I feel like the question's problematic, but it's your question.
You want to start?
Personally, I don't think that girls are problematic. I just think that girls are very emotional, and boys don't get that.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
So the next question they had, why do girls assume all boys cheat?
Because of experiences, especially in high school, boys just want to live in the moment. And yeah, I just feel like they don't think about how females feel. Maybe because they probably got heartbroken when they were younger, and they feel that they can do that to other females.
What do you think, Allie?
To add on to that, I feel like a lot of women, or they feel with their emotions. I feel like because men and women both cheat. I've seen it both sides, but I feel like for women, they cheat emotionally. They don't cheat because the relationship's going bad. They don't cheat because they just find somebody attractive. But I feel like men, they cheat because they find a woman attractive, because they have something that they seem like they want. Yeah.
Especially younger guys that you encounter, I think they're way more physically driven.
Yeah.
Their
And
mindset is different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's probably hard when you're in that space. Think about it. Like in my realm, I'm not around a bunch of people. Y'all in school, hundreds of girls, hundreds of boys,
Right.
and it's probably hard to fight off temptations at that age.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to give y'all. But it's still inappropriate and unacceptable.
Yeah, definitely. It's not an excuse.
So I don't think that girls assume, you're right, that all boys cheat. I think it is life learned. It's just what happens.
It's
Yeah.
likely.
But I would say that all guys don't cheat. I know on the episode, Mason said black men don't cheat. That's what he said. I can't, but this is Malik's question. He said, why do girls ask young men what they bring to the table when there is no table? Because there is not a table at your age, really.
Well, I kind of talked about this question with my mom, and she was just talking about how if you're with someone, you guys should he should have a car, you should have a car, he should have a good job, you should have a good job. You guys both should have the same qualities. He should have a job that's in like the same price range as yours or higher, he should never be like below your standards. So like, don't settle yourself for less.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like a lot of the time when girls ask that, it's not just about like, oh, what can you provide for me? Like, what can you buy me? But it's also like, what do you look for out of this relationship? You know, like it's what baggage do you have? What are you bringing from your past experiences and relationships into this relationship that I'm now trying to start with you? You know, like how is this going to go? I feel like it's a good question to, you know, throw it out on the line. And I feel like the people that I've experienced that take that question okay, you know, like they don't take it personally, I've had a lot better relationships when it's like eros or just like, you know, like friendship wise, versus people that are like take it personally. Because it's not meant to wound. It's really not.
They're defensive.
Yeah.
Because maybe you don't offer anything or enough for me.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what do you think, Abby?
I think that goes into somebody's intentions with you. Like when they say that. Because some boys, they say dumb answers, which shows that they don't really like you. Really.
Right.
And some boys really say something genuine. You can tell when a boy is lying or when they're telling you.
So what do you think, if you ask that and you said they'll say something else, what's an example?
They'll say,
be real, we all look.
I've seen like people I hung around, they'll bring up how boys say, if you don't have sex with me, I'm not gonna do anything to you.
Right.
That's it.
And that's true. And if that's not what you're looking for, I think that it's important to know that you cannot change someone's mind.
Yeah.
So somebody might hear that and be like, oh, he's just saying that now. I won't be in that situation. But you will.
Yeah.
And I think you should take things at face value and do not ignore red flags. That's a red flag. So if you know that's not where you're taking this, don't be like, oh, he's cute. Okay. Because you're going to be in that situation, fighting it off like if you don't want to be there. And I'm trying to make sure I got all the boys' questions out the way. I did. So, but if you can ask a teenage boy any question, what would it be?
When does your maturity, like, when do you start getting mature? What age do you hit, or when is that wake up moment for you? And I feel like if they're pretty much going to be asked this question, most of the time they have like a level of maturity, but like, where was that time for you? What happened? What did you do to change yourself to become more mature?
What experiences? Like what happened?
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have any questions?
I'm still trying to think.
I think what life experiences made you view the things the way that you view it, like your mindset. Because sometimes a boy can go through something and that'll just change the way he thinks about stuff.
Yeah. I like that. And I think that speaks to grace too. I think so it's easy for us to just take things at face value. Like you'll see somebody like being like the class clown or just keep like playing around in class and you're like, ugh. But at home, like you just never know, like, why does he need that attention here? It could be something that he's experiencing at home or going through in his personal life that makes him that way. And that's for everybody. And that's in every walk of life. When you're on the job, when you, whatever, you'll encounter people. And I think that's important to always extend grace because you never know what somebody's going through. Even if it's a girl being rude, she's really nasty. But it's a her thing. It's definitely not a me thing. And just always remember that.
Hey y'all, this episode is brought to you by That Good Peace, a luxury relaxation brand promoting peace, mental healthiness, and presence. Be sure to head over to thatgoodpeace.com to check out all of our handmade candles, teas, and essential oils to levitate your senses, teleport your mind, and manifest your mood. This week's featured candle is We Blow Candles Not Cakes, #Happy Birthday. To experience this candle for yourself, use the code LFMM4 at checkout for 20% off all of our products.
Let's talk about, I don't want to say growing up because you're still growing up. I'm still growing up. I'm just saying. But how is it like in your life right now? Like what's your family dynamic? How has it been, I'll say from birth to 13 to 18 to 15 for each of you?
My family dynamic, we are all very strong individuals. So we all try to get like a point across, and it's doesn't always end up pretty, but being strong individuals is what makes our family like better together. And
So I know you personally because this is my little baby cousin, guys. But do you live with your mom and your dad, your siblings? Talk about that.
I live with my mom, my dad, my dog, and yeah, we're all in there together, and it's like we're all the same, but we're all different. Like we all have different personalities, but we're all very like strong individuals.
Like it.
I guess I'll go. I currently right now live with my dad and my two sisters. I don't live with my mom anymore. My dad and my mom have been separated my whole life, and I feel like the dynamic has definitely changed. It used to be like I was the baby of the family, I was the youngest, but you know, as other cousins came in and like other people came in, I became less as the baby and less seen as a child. And now that I've hit this weird, awkward age, it's like I'm an adult, but I'm also not.
Right.
And like I have responsibilities, but I also don't, you know?
Right.
So it's like there's certain things, but it definitely shifted from like when I was, 15 or 13.
Right.
So,
It's that transition from high school to real world.
yeah, definitely.
And now that you're like, wait, hold up. I was the baby.
yeah.
What happened? Don't give me no
Definitely.
responsibilities. But
Right.
here it comes. Look,
Right.
life comes at you fast. Abby, what about you?
I live with my mom, my dad, and my brother. And I think my family is the same way she explained hers.
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents really want me to be successful like them. Like they always talk about how they were either the first one to go to college or they were the first one to get here in life. And my dad would tell me about how his sister went to Harvard and now she's a professor. And he said he'll just talk to me about his family and how they lived, and he'll tell me he wants to follow in his sister's footsteps and stuff like that. So my family just does everything they can to make sure that I'm successful like them and don't go in the wrong footsteps, even though that will happen in teenage years.
Yeah.
Right. You got to experiment a little bit and learn for yourself a little bit. So, do you feel like it's easy for you to have those hard conversations with your parents? Do you feel comfortable talking to them about anything?
For me, it's easier to talk to my father.
Really?
Yeah. My mom, she always tries to get her point across.
What about you, Lynn?
It's easy to talk to them about some things. I feel like I can talk to my mom more because my dad's very like nonchalant. So I like talk to him and he's just like, I'm like, you're supposed to help me out. I would talk to my mom because like she knows because she's done it before and she knows how to help, and she's not like, she's an emotional creature, so she knows how to like talk.
Right. What about you, Em?
I would say, honestly, I feel like between my two parents, my dad's a little bit easier to talk to, but out of both of them, I feel like it's my sister. My oldest sister, she's like the easiest to talk to. I can talk to about anything. I'm a very inquisitive person, so like I was definitely that young kid asking any and all questions about everything.
Right.
And with her, it's not like why are you asking so many questions or stuff like that, but like I feel like with my dad, he answers my questions, but I can always tell he's like afraid to say certain things. He's like, I don't know where we at right now, especially now that I've hit this age. He's like,
Right.
I know that you know these things, but I don't want to be the one to show you them, you know.
Right.
So
I have a special friend. Her name is Tonee Lawson. She was on our season 3 Local Heroes episode. She's the director of the B Org, and I'm going to have her join us for this conversation just because she works with teens on a daily basis. And I think she'll be great to add to the narrative. So come on in, Tonee.
hi.
So this is London. She's 13. This is Allie, 18. Abby, 15.
Hey, girls.
And right now we just did a little icebreaker, just talking about your home style, your family, what's going on, and growing up. Questions y'all had for teenage boys. So that's just a quick recap. So right now I'm asking them, do they feel comfortable having those hard conversations at home? And you both, well, you kind of said that, yeah, but no, I didn't hear nothing confident. Like, yeah, I can
It
say
really
anything.
depends on the topic.
Yeah, it really
it depends.
does.
So what about sex?
No.
Have your parents, have they sat down and had those kind of birds and the bees-ish conversations with
Well,
you?
I've never like sat down and talked to my parents about it, but I've like overheard them talking to my older sister about it. I'm just like, I was like really little, so I was like, what's that? And then, of course, I have like friends and people at school, weird. So
So I'm gonna get back to that. So what?
For me, I feel like it was a pretty okay. Like the sex conversation was pretty okay. Like both my parents were very open and honest. They told me about it. But the thing is, my mom isn't a health teacher. So she told it by the book, by the script, like, you know, ovaries, all of that.
Right.
So, you know, like at a young age, like I think I asked her in like 5th grade, and at a young age, it was very much, I was like, it was abrupt. But as I got older and I had a conversation with my dad and also had with my older sister, it was kind of made more sense, you know.
Right.
Yes, I've had the conversation. I feel like I got different talks from my dad and my mom because my mom's a Christian and my dad's a Christian too, but he just looks at stuff more real and gets
Right.
to the hard truth. Because, you know, no father wants their daughter to get hurt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had the conversation. And
I like that. So what are some things that your dad said?
My dad would tell me you have to really look into a person and what exactly they do over time, not just for like a month or 2 weeks. And then that'll really determine how a person is and if they're using you for sex and stuff. And my mom would tell me to wait till marriage because she's a Christian.
Yeah.
And she'll tell me that when you get married, you can do all that. But she still wants me to be happy.
Right. Right.
You know,
And-
she knows people make mistakes too. So.
That's true. I like that. So London, so you said you never had a straight conversation. So what if you heard something from one of your friends, like that you didn't know what it was? Would you feel comfortable asking your mom or your dad?
probably not my dad at all, but my mom, I would probably like ask her what it is and what it means. I'd be comfortable asking her that, but I feel like it's awkward to just sit down and talk about that. So.
Well, what I'll say, and I guess Tonee, you could add to this too, it's a little dangerous finding out about sex in the streets, I'll say, with your friends, because they don't even know what they're talking about. They'll have you over here, and you're supposed to be way, way over there. So your mom and your dad, especially, I will go to your dad because he has the male perspective, and he can tell you what's really real and what really to look out for with the guys. And I think that's important when we're about to discuss the difference between love versus lust. And one of the examples I gave is like a boy would be like, "Oh, London, like your eye, like," and you'd be like, "Oh, I love that's no." So Tonee, what do you think about starting a way she could start that hard conversation?
Yeah, I just think that it's important that you, even though parents bring a hard perspective sometimes, and it's really awkward to talk to them about those things, they always have your best interest at heart, right? So just leaning in on the relationship that you have with them and trusting that they're never going to steer you wrong and that they always want to look out for you in the best way possible. Like, you know what, Mom, I kind of heard that this means this. Is this true? So that's a good way to open up the conversation. Or you could say, my friends are talking about blah, 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 if you don't want to say. So it could be a feeling that you're feeling like you may be ready to have sex, but you're not necessarily prepared to say, Mom, I'm ready. You could say, me and my friends were talking about, and then, you know, parents kind of know how to gauge their child. Parents know their children, right? So they know, like, okay, these conversations are coming up amongst her friends. Now I might need to dig a little deeper. They'll know how to steer it, but you just have to have the courage and the trust in yourself and in the relationship with your parents to be like, all right, it's kind of time to have this talk.
How do you feel about text messages? I feel like that's to your advantage to start a hard conversation as well.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to face-to-face it, text it.
Or you can preface it by texting your mom, like, I kind of have a hard conversation that I need to have with you, right? So it'll give her a big chance to pause and be like, ooh, my baby girl's about to bring something to you that might be a little heavy, and then it can give you a chance to get your thoughts together too. But just don't be afraid to have the conversation.
Yeah. So tell me about school these days. Do you feel like it's a lot of peer pressure? Like, how is it socially? Like, how do you feel in your social circles? Do you feel like you're surrounded with, like-minded people? Do you feel like you belong? Like, how is it for you?
Me personally, sorry, I mean to stop you, but me personally, I feel like we all kind of hit that age where it's like we all just, everybody's just really chill, and I would honestly say like we don't have like a lot of beefs. Like my social circle, it's pretty small. It's not as big as anymore, but the small people that I have, I'm close with, very close, and I feel like peer pressure, it's not as big of a thing anymore, or it comes in different forms. You know, it doesn't look the same as just like, oh my gosh, you gotta try this. You know, it's a little bit different, especially with, you know, we're all like, all of my friends for the most part are either like in college or going into college. So it definitely, like, somehow it takes on different forms, and it's like different questions or different scenarios. But yeah.
Right. How about you, Abby?
I've had a good time in high school so far. I definitely feel like as the year went by, I grew out of certain people because of the way they think or the things that they do. And I feel like that's going to keep happening as I go into different grades. And like she said, peer pressure doesn't, like, you might not notice that you're being peer pressured.
Right.
Like, sometimes you see your friends doing something, and they keep telling you, you should try it, and you think they just being friends, but yeah.
For me, I have a close circle of like good people, and then of course I have like other people that I just talk to as friends. And peer pressure, there's not really like a lot of peer pressure at my school, but since it is middle school, there is like a lot of drama at my school. Like there's always that one person, maybe early in the morning. There's always that one person. But my middle school experience isn't as bad as I thought it would be, because I started 6th grade online in COVID, so of course I'm like in person, I'm like, oh, I don't know, but during my 7th grade year, it was actually pretty fun, and it was one of the best school years that I've had so far.
I like that. Why do you think that is? Because everybody got out the house again?
Yeah, because a lot of my friends from elementary school go to the same school as me now, and it's just, I get to see like all my friends. I'm not locked up in the house anymore, and it was fun.
I feel like COVID might have taught us like what things could be, so I think everybody found their chill. Right, in a lot of areas. So, how much time do you spend on social media?
Embarrassing amounts.
I mean, when you're in the house, social media is kind of fun. I mostly be on TikTok now.
TikTok
like Instagram, I try to take a break from it because it can have a mental effect on you.
Same.
At least
same
you can
exact
recognize
thing.
that.
Yeah, no, same exact thing. I've had Instagram for a while. I think since 5th grade, because that's when it was like everybody was finding out about it, and it was getting really popular. Back when like the logo was still like that brown, that one. And I've had it since then, and over the years I've just gotten like, because of how bad it's affected my mental health or my social life or even like my school life, I kept distancing myself from it, and now it's kind of there just to talk to friends, you know, friends that I have on Instagram, or the occasional, like if I'm doing art for like pictures and stuff like that, for like reference photos, but like I don't really go in there to be social anymore. Like I don't like posts anymore, but definitely TikTok. Right. TikTok, I don't know why, but it has
you in a chokehold.
Yeah, it does.
What about you, Lynn?
I do unfortunately spend a lot of time on like social media, but for me, I find social media as like an outlet to like either like express myself or see other people expressing themselves. So I do spend a lot of time on it, but it's not like I spend a good amount of time looking at like different people doing like different things that they like on like TikTok and stuff like that.
So Tonee, I like that you said I'm glad that you recognize that, because that was my next question. But it seems like you all have a grasp on knowing how to turn off things that are not for you, not pleasing to you, affect your mental health. So what are some of the posts, like what are the things that you were seeing that you said affected you mentally?
For me personally, it was like at first, of course, there was like the celebrities and the glamour and all that stuff. And I think that didn't affect me as bad as seeing like people either I knew or people that just seemed a lot more down to earth. You know, those people with like a bunch of followers, but they're not really a celebrity yet. You know, like they don't have the blue check. I think seeing those people be happy and live the life that like I was, especially when like I was struggling with my mental health, it kind of hurt. You know, like it wasn't such as much jealousy, but it just fueled the bad thoughts that were in my head. So I feel like I had to recognize that like this was a main part. It wasn't just, me overthinking things or, me and my mental health, that this is not a good, advocate for me, But I definitely, with every good thing, with every bad thing, there's always a couple good things. So it's kind of like this weird trade-off.
Right. What are you thinking?
I think social media has a big effect on how you view yourself, your body, your appearance, and stuff like that. So I'm trying to work on how I view myself and stop letting what I see on social media affect how I want to look or how I want to act. So that's why I'm going to take a break.
I love it. And I think that was the whole point of me asking you guys about social media, just because I feel like when Tonee and I were your age, we weren't exposed to this at all. Like Facebook was like, no, I'll go back. MySpace.
Yeah.
But that's when I was graduating high school, right? Like I can't imagine like having my phone and dealing with that.
Connected. Yeah.
And just being exposed to, also like you said, the glamour, the celebrities. So you see that, and then you'll see the girl that, like, you might be in 10th grade, she was in 12th, now she's her second year in college. She done went and got a whole BBL. And like, it's like, wait.
Yeah.
Right, what just happened? What just happened? And I do want to, make sure that you girls are doing things for yourself. Just like you said, finding yourself, not what you see on here, like, oh, let me go do that because she did that. And she got 10,000 followers just when she posted that, or she got the likes for that. I want you to, just take that time and do the self-work to say, oh, this is something that I like for me. This makes me feel good. And not for just, like, the opinion of others.
So
what do you think?
The good part about social media or Instagram is that it's a curated feed. So it can be as much or as little as you want it to be. So if you see those people that are not really living authentically, you can unfollow them.
Right.
And you don't have to see it. You can censor to your liking. You can censor based on your interests. You can censor based on, how you're feeling that day. You can censor based on what makes you feel good, right? Like, give me more of this. Show me more of this. And with the new algorithm, once you start to like all the things that you really, really like and the things that are making you feel good, it'll show you more of that, right? So you can use it as a tool for positivity just as much as people go on there and use it as a tool for garbage, right?
I like that. And I like that that's the new wave, like the new way of Instagram.
Yep.
And also, for the person you said that they haven't got that blue check yet, and that you can mute them. I love that feature. Mute these stories, mute these posts. So it is tailored to more what you want to see and how you want to feel. So Tonee, do you have any questions for the girls?
Oh, let's see. I would like to know, who are your biggest influences? Who or what?
I would say my biggest influence is my two older sisters. Because I don't really get, like, at least now, I don't really get influenced by celebrities that much. And I would say people in similar situations to me are, like, also other people that influence me a lot. Not in the sense of, like, I have to do exactly what they do, but I can see that they got through the forest, they got through all of the, confusion and they got out as a better person, you know, or like somebody who has like, it looks similar to me, talks similar to me, similar place, you know, I can see that my struggles aren't, you know, abnormal, alien, you know.
Right.
So those kind of things influence me.
Nice. I like that.
I feel like when you have someone you can connect to, they can have a big, like they can be your inspiration, or you'll look at them and say, yeah, I can get through it. And for me, it'll be my friends. They inspire me, and my family, like my mom mostly.
Good.
I would say, of course, my parents, and then also like people. I don't think people say this a lot. Like people who are like considered like bad people that like don't do the right thing. They influence me to do the opposite. Of
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to know, do you know the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do. Because people you hang around that do bad stuff that you used to think like, I need to stay away from them. You start hanging around them, you start doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And people probably thinking like, dang, she doing what they used to do. So that means she act like them.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to stay away from her.
That's true.
kind of like when we were talking about peer pressure earlier.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that. Like you're around a group of people that are considered, like I said, like considered bad and don't do what they're supposed to do. You hang around them so much, you end up doing what they're doing.
And don't even notice.
Yeah, you don't even know. So I think that's kind of the new peer pressure now. You don't even know that you're being like peer pressure. They don't even have to tell you. You're just like acting like them because you hang around them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I feel like there's this added layer of aspect, like you can still be friends with those people that you know are bad influence, but as long as you recognize that they aren't headed in the same path that you are, and you still have other people that support you, and still, you know, like if you're going to college, somebody else is going to college and it's helping you through the process, or if you want to become you know, a lip gloss specialist, I don't know, you know, like they have that big business mindset, you know, something that is like-minded individuals, that you don't have to be like completely like, no, I'm not being friends with you because you do this and this, but like you can still be nice to people, you can still be friends with them, but it's just, you know, different circles.
Gotta have that boundary.
Yeah, it's boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries are important. So when you look in the mirror, do you love what you see?
Most days.
Depends on the hairstyle.
Definitely, yeah.
Hair can definitely change your mood.
Yeah.
So, do you know your worth? Is it a self-love there?
Yeah.
Why do you feel though?
Because before, I always have to put myself first before anyone. So I feel like knowing my worth will help me like know kind of like what to do with my life. And if I think about myself before others, then it seems selfish, but I feel like I can get far when thinking about me before thinking about someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, you know, that knowing my worth thing, not only does it, you know, help with my mental health, my self-esteem, helps with me doing any venture that I want to do in life. Because if I'm not confident in my abilities or myself, then I can't possibly, you know, apply for a job or feel that I can, you know, accurately inspire somebody or be a mentor to somebody, or even small things like win a game of lacrosse, you know, like knowing that I am good at something and that I deserve, you know, good things definitely helps in like all aspects of my life.
I think knowing your worth determines how far you get in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it plays a big part. I don't want to say that. That's just the whole thing. But it plays a big part of where you get in the future. That's how I look at it.
So, Lon, you're 13, Allie, you're 18, Abby, you're 15. We in our 30s. So can we speak to somebody that's in our shoes, but when they look in the mirror, they don't like what they see? What would you say?
I feel like I always get questions like this because I am, you know, like I'm not fitting the typical beauty standard. You know, I'm a plus size woman, And I, like, when people ask, like, why are you confident? Like, how did you become confident? At first, I'd be like, well, it just kind of appeared. I don't really know. I don't know what steps I took. But I think I just stopped listening to the outside influences, and I started finding the things that I liked in myself. So some days I may not like my stretch marks, or some days I may not like how I'm not fitting into these jeans, but I do like my hair that day. Or, oh my gosh, my eyebrows look amazing. Or, you know, and I'd find those tiny things, and slowly it would build into my whole person. And then I love me, you know, and I like the way Allie looks in the mirror today. I like Allie's mindset. I'm proud of Allie because she answered that question correctly, you know, stuff like that.
Girl, you better preach to everybody that's watching. You done probably just blessed a 32-year-old, right? So, Tonee, do you have any final thoughts for the girls?
Allie just kind of closes out, right? Just everyone, each of us are uniquely and divinely created. And I would say just own that and walk in that and know who you are. And before even getting around anyone else, stand in yours, stand firm in your beliefs, stand firm in who you are. And you guys will be even more beautiful and amazing for years and years to come.
So, London, well, you're the baby here. So I'm going to ask Abby, at 15, what advice could you give London at 13 for her next journey? She's going to high school, so.
Right now, when I was in 7th grade, I had to watch who I hung around because 7th grade is really where all the drama starts, when you find out who's really your friend. So I say watch who you hang around. And when you go to high school, I say don't be easily influenced.
Allie, what would you say to Abby? Abby's going to her sophomore year, and you're going to college. So what advice would you give her?
I would definitely say, you know, high school is not the end of your life, you know, future, all of that. It's going to seem really important in the moment, trust me. I was there a couple months ago, but there's always things that are going to be more important. Don't get so hung up in the present, and remember your past and think about your future.
And I would say that, you know, we would give Allie advice because she's going to college. But I feel like she done got everything wrapped up. And
Thank you so much.
You know, I just want to say that this is my first time meeting. But I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Just talking to her before the interview, you were like a smidge shy of being a valedictorian. Talk about that. What was your GPA?
My GPA was 4.5.
She applied to 80 schools?
85, yeah.
This girl is like
85 schools. I think I got into most of them. I don't remember because it's
she probably got into 84. She's just trying to like sit here like. But I'm just, you know, I just want to say just keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I was so much older. I was a mother already before I even was able to pick up on the things that I liked. Like, yeah, I'm having a good hair day today. These, like you said. And I just want to say just keep going on that path and just never go away from just from that. Just sit in that.
So self-aware. Like, you're so
sit in
self-aware.
that, yeah, that self-awareness. And I think that would drive, like, I feel like you have no problem staying on campus this year, walking in there. You're not going to let anybody sway you into nothing that you don't want to do. And I hope that you girls all stay like that. Like, make your own decisions for you. Walk in your truth. And I feel like that could take you so far in life. Especially since we didn't get to talk about boys that much. But I feel like, if you are selfish, like London said, it's not selfish. That's self-care. That's what like prompted the whole self-care movement. It's self, just being self, and that's the self-love. It's selfish, but it's needed, and that'll help you in life. So, is there anything that you want to say or anything you want to ask us before we wrap?
What was your experiences in high school?
High school, Amber. I just didn't really like what I saw that much in the mirror. I got my gap. I'm dark skinned. The colorism was real. You saw people the boys gravitating toward the light-skinned girls. Was that your journey?
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, like, what's wrong with me? I feel like I like me. But then I had to realize there's nothing wrong with me. And especially when I got around, like, 16, 17, it's like I always had a boyfriend. And then I also had this body since I was, like, 12, 13. So I was, like, in that stage where, like, I'm not a woman. Can y'all leave me alone? But I'm just happy that I was able to keep fighting for the things that I wanted. I never let anybody talk me into doing anything I didn't want to do. I don't know if y'all saw my story before, but I was raped when I was 17. But I almost made it out of high school being a virgin, like I wanted. And so I feel like I was never easily swayed, but I just wish that I loved myself more. So that's what I would say. Love yourself, and I feel like that would take you so far. You won't be like I was. Like, I hated public speaking, hated anything, and it just goes back to self-love and work. So that's what I would go back and tell myself at that age. Love yourself, because you're beautiful, and forget whoever says otherwise. That's what I would say.
Yeah. For me, high school was a lot. I was really extroverted and outgoing, into everything, sports, had lots of friends, lots of activities, and so I just had to realize, like, sometimes you have to dial it back and focus on you and not be everything to everybody in every circle. I wasn't really, like, that into boys. Maybe, just a couple little things here and there, right? But I was more so like, oh, yeah, that's my brother, this is my friend, like, cheerleaders with athletes, right? Like, we're cool. Most of us were cool. Some were, doing a little too much. But that wasn't me. I was like, oh, y'all are doing a lot. I don't want to do the most. I'm going to stay on this side. And then we cool, right? So I kind of steered clear of that drama. But yeah, it just helped being involved and standing confident in who I was and preparing myself and knowing that high school was not the end. Right, and being able to see down the road, like, oh, I have bigger dreams. I just got to get through this chapter to help me for the next leg of the journey.
I like that. And that's what you said to Abby. High school was not the end.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel that way. Like, I'm pushing and doing all this for graduation. You're never going to see these people again in your life.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for social media, I would never see these people again in my life.
Right.
And that's important, too. I just thank you, girls, so much for sitting down and having this conversation with me. And I know that this blessed somebody watching. That's the premise of Letters from My Mama, is starting the hard conversations, bridging the gap between generations, knowing that stories heal. Telling your story can bless somebody else that didn't have the voice to speak up for themselves. And I just thank you all for watching Letters TV. And if you like what we're doing here, please share, comment, subscribe, and donate. Bye.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Letters from My Mama, please consider supporting us by subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a friend, and donating to Letters TV. Thanks for watching.